Machado, and I work for Unicom Government. And I do programming for control systems pretty much on any number of projects. I've been Air Force, Army, Pentagon, you name it, I've done projects all over the place. So, and we're doing actually a touch panel upgrade here for the rooms that we installed. Actually, I was the programmer originally on the job. So we've got the Mississippi, Illinois, Des Moines, and then also the Chiefs room, which got touch screens. And we have one extra for the Mississippi room in case for some reason it goes belly up or whatever. You've got a cycle panel you can just pop in, and then it will just take the place of the one that was here. So pretty much if you need to interact with the room, I guess you guys do mostly Teams calls, I guess, right? Or that's basically what you all do.
Or WebEx.
WebEx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So same difference. But anyways, it's basically soft codec. Your computer plays the role of the codec. And so you'd be plugging in, I guess imagine to either this or up at the front of the desk over there, up the front of the room. And then that would basically tie you into the system for the room. The only thing you'll have to make sure in the settings, I think it's probably similar in WebEx as you would do in Teams. Basically, there's an ellipse that you click, or probably maybe settings under WebEx. And you just have to make sure that the camera and the room microphone both say, I guess in this room's case, it would be Vadio, I think, probably Vadio. And that will tie you into the room cameras and the room mics. I believe so. If you guys are up for it, we can take somebody's computer as a guinea pig and just
do it.
Jack it into the system, and we can verify all those pieces of information just to make sure. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't actually jacked my computer into it. I'm a little hazy. I've done a lot of like team stuff recently for a couple of other places. So
Let's see. You're on then. You want to go grab your computer real quick? Perfect. All right.
Does this completely replace the laptop that was sitting over here?
yeah,
Correct.
In all the conference rooms up here?
yeah,
Correct.
Okay,
yeah. Before you had the laptop because we didn't have the panels
correct.
due to supply chain, due to insert reason here. Basically, we had to wait basically a year to get the panels.
How does this tie back into the server room or the switch room across the hall then?
So we have a rack of equipment in the server room that is completely unassociated with anything that you guys have in terms of your racks for your network stuff. This entire system basically sits on an air gap from anything having to do with Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay,
It's a completely air gap system.
so that whole system they had in there is redundant or gone now. That's in there. They had a whole system for that sitting in the switch room across the hall here.
Well, that would still be there, it just doesn't tie into our network.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there is a rack of equipment in the very, like if you're walking into the room, it'll be
Yeah,
in
in
the
the
far
corner.
back corner in the left.
Yep.
So maybe about this tall, more or less.
Right.
So that equipment, yes, is relevant to, it's actually relevant to all the rooms. Every single,
It runs the media part of it.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
basically that system is what makes it to where you can send video anywhere to any one of the rooms, basically.
Okay.
Given certain scenarios that I'll get into, but depending on how you're operating this room will determine if you can pull stuff from Illinois or Des Moines, or the chief can send things to any of the rooms also. It just depends on how you're operating the system.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
And we can go into that room and take a look at that too after we go through the conference rooms, because probably at some point somebody's going to ask you to go look in the room.
Most likely.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we can, if you
Yeah.
guys
We'll do
wanna
that
pop
at
in
the
there.
end after we go
Yeah,
through
we
this,
can-
because it probably won't be everybody that wants to go.
Right,
So.
yeah, we can pop in there and I can kind of just give you
Yeah.
sort of quick overview of it. But anyway, so I guess if we're ready, I guess I can go through some of the basic stuff on the system. I guess probably what I'll do initially is I'll just shut everything down to make it be exactly what you'll see if the room is shut down. I suppose I probably can turn this panel around also. That should mimic exactly what I'm doing on this panel.
So if you can't see and you want to
yeah.
see, you guys can gather.
Yeah, you guys can come around behind me,
Mhm.
or if you want to gather around that panel there.
Mhm.
But pretty much this screen that you see now is just the screen you'll see on all the panels if the room has been shut down. And in the Mississippi, it's unique in that you can actually overflow which are the buttons in the corner, right? So if you're going to overflow to any of the other rooms, then you would just just tap the button to check the box. The system will go through a process. You'll see a page show up that's basically signifying that it's busy. And then once the overflow process finishes, then you can just operate the room as you would. And that will make it so that the other room can see what you're showing, which by default is the dock at the head of the room. So if you have a computer plugged up there and you're doing a presentation, that's what it's going to pull in by default. It'll also have the audio for whatever you're doing there. So we can do that actually as a quick demo. So I'll go ahead and add the Illinois room. So you'll see the panel do, just a little animation. And then once this finishes, we can just go into the room and then do simple briefing. And simple briefing is the easiest way to just get started. It's basically going to turn on all the displays for you and send the dock that's at the head of the room to all the displays. It'll just show you the same thing on all. It also does for whichever room is actually overflow, it'll do the same thing. So in the Illinois right now, which, we can plug something up there at the head of the room, or I can take something that I
Do you
have.
want to plug your stuff up?
Yeah, so it'll show basically the computer, and then also it'll do the audio in any of the overflow rooms. So one thing to note, at least before I guess I've been told a couple of times that you guys didn't have audio working in the rooms. The short of the story on that one is basically the amplifier had the knobs turned all the way, not all the way down, but like probably down substantially, like halfway or maybe a little bit more for some reason. I went in there and basically cranked everything to 0, which is unity gain. And so now you've got a ton of headroom in your volume. So if for whatever reason you walk in here with a laptop, like hot, basically set with your volume high, be prepared to drag the volume bar down because you're going to hear it, yeah.
Can you play a YouTube video
I
or
can
something?
probably bring
You're
this up a
frozen
little,
right
yeah,
now.
I can bring
Okay.
this up a little bit.
Might
But
take a sec.
So what did he need to have his computer set on to get the audio and stuff working through the computer video?
That's what he's trying
that's
right now.
that's if you're doing like a WebEx call. If you're just using the room and you just have a PowerPoint and you're just playing audio, like you just want to play like an audio file or something, you don't actually have to do anything.
Okay.
Exactly what I did on the system is all you need to do and just make sure you plug yourself up to the dock and you're off to the races. You're good to go.
So Vadio is then for displaying to, say, the Illinois room from here. That's what we would need V1 Vadio for.
The Vadio is just for the WebEx.
Oh, it's just for web.
Yeah.
So
that's-
instead of call me or computer audio, you would pick
Vadio.
Vadio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what links your PC to the hardware that's in the room that uses basically the ceiling speakers and then also the ceiling microphones. Yeah, so at this point, basically you can do whatever on the computer. You're showing up on all the displays. I can take a look in the hall just to make sure the Illinois got the same picture.
It's the same on the other conference.
Yeah, you can see it down there.
I can see it.
No, but they're so small, you think, well, how hard would it be to elevate?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not for all.
So, but if you have your computer plugged into the brick in the center here,
Device name or
Mhm.
whatever.
what's the limitation? It's not gonna be able to do WebEx or turn on the cameras and microphones?
So I'd have to see how. I believe the computer at the head of the room has been the one that's been sort of set as the dedicated PC
Mhm.
for I guess what we're calling BYOD calling, which is bring your own device. That would be for your WebEx and such. I think that's only the head of the room that can do that.
Okay.
At the center or the desk here would be just for presentations or if you want to just put demonstratives up with your computer or something like that. That's what the middle of the table would be.
Because the way that people have been using the center
Mhm.
is they'll have a WebEx call from here, but they won't use the cameras or the speakers. They'll just have the conference phone, and they'll have people calling on the phone.
Trying to get me hyped.
I mean, you can still. There's nothing stopping you doing that. You can still do it. It's just using the in-room equipment. I think they've purposed the USB connections for that at the head of the room. There should be a connection that plugs into the dock up there. So the minute you jack the computer into the docking station, it automatically gets connected to the room USB system that handles basically the mics and the speakers and all that stuff.
So basically, that's central. That's the central location to add any of your WebEx. basically.
Yeah, and I think we discussed that it was
Right.
to basically make it more deliberate, so you don't
Yeah.
accidentally, like especially for overflow. If you just do overflow, the stuff over there is going to be what's going to get sent automatically everywhere. Whereas if you're at the center of the table, you can still project or you can still overflow to the rest of the rooms, but it's a more deliberate action basically.
If you're up there and plugged in, you can undo or turn off that overflow.
It's absolutely. It's a manual process, right? Those are the buttons up here in the corner.
But they're gonna be turned on until every time you plug in.
No. It's you have to come in and plug it in. I can check and see if on shutdown if it unseats it. I'm not sure if on shutdown I'm actually undoing those options. So, but at a quick glance, if you walk in here, you can just quickly see like if the boxes are checked, then that's how you know you're overflowing to a particular room.
And you could only do overflow from either the center or from the back wall. So there's a plug here and there's a plug there. And the thought is to stop people from unintentionally overflowing into other conference rooms where things might be going on. It'll be more deliberate to control your overflow back there. So that's why we chose that as the overflow computer.
Because we've had that happen.
We have had that happen many times. And so this way, the only way you can overflow is if you're at this computer here. But I wasn't sure about the audio with the WebEx, if that was the center plug or the back plug. And it sounds like the WebEx is only going to have audio from the back plug, which is okay because we have remote things. Do you have a WebEx account?
I think so.
Yeah, so we could just try that.
Yep. So
But this panel will control this and that, right?
yeah, you can certainly. I mean, I can basically take the computer that's the center dock, which is basically what I had up there before, right? If I pick Mississippi Room Center, you're going to get basically my. Yeah.
Oh, me too, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just the signal generator that I'm using to put video and audio in the system.
That's my game.
Here you go.
Oh, you got
That's fun.
And you can push this to the other rooms?
Could
Yes.
do.
From here?
Yep.
Mhm.
could
So
do.
right now the Illinois, well, I don't know, is the Illinois seeing this then?
So
or is
right
it
now,
seeing
it's,
his?
right now, I don't know if it's auto routing. Basically, there's another mode in here called custom.
Is it showing it?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So it is showing the center one and the other ones,
Okay,
even
so-
though you're plugged into the center.
Yeah, I had forgotten, but
Mhm.
so basically what happens is if you're actually set up with overflow, when you route it automatically pushes. That's what it was basically.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the code for a while for this, but if you didn't and you just wanted to do some sort of different routes for whatever reason, you could go into custom briefing, and that'll actually give you the displays. You can kind of see them all listed on the side, or not because this panel didn't follow. Yeah,
pretty neat.
you just do custom briefing, and then what'll happen is you'll have all the displays listed on the left side, and if you wanted to do something, you would just tap the display and then pick what you want to show there, right? So here you actually have all the displays in the Mississippi right now.
But I could click
Yeah, just tap
This,
the button and then you
and
pick
then
what
I
you want to
can
show.
choose the other computer so we could,
Yeah,
in
so you'll see
theory,
it
Oh,
have
there
two.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Now
there.
that-
You
That
can
is
set it.
awesome, man.
that's great.
And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, as you start overflowing to other
Mhm.
rooms, all that stuff shows up in this list. You'll have to scroll it to see it, right? You have to just get your finger and scroll like you would on your phone to scroll
Mhm.
through the list. But you'll have it there, and then you can tap it. So if you want to send something different to Illinois for some reason, you can do that. If you want to send something different to Des Moines, you can do that.
Oh,
Once the chief is set to overflow, if you want to send something different to him still, you can send him something different also, or her something different as well. So you can mix and match whatever you want if you really want to get kind of granular with it.
So you could go from here to the chief's office. The chief's office can come to here if it's set, but this has to already be set up on overflow, right? That's the trick with the chief's office.
Right. So right now, the way I've got it is the chief can come into a room and pick up video from the rooms at his or her discretion. The only thing that they can't do is send into the rooms unless you have chief chosen as overflow. If you pick the chief as overflow, then the chief can actually, from their panel in the office, their office can actually pick and send whatever they want to any of the rooms that are set as overflow as well.
Mhm.
So, but that's basically, that will only happen
If you hit that.
if you have chief set as overflow. Then yes, but otherwise no. They'll just be able to see stuff in their office.
All right, you have a WebEx. Did anybody invite you to a WebEx recently?
No. I had to join as a guest, so I don't have it installed.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Anybody else have a WebEx? Grab a.
If you guys have,
Mhm.
just as a quick mention, the
Mhm.
help button at the bottom. If you have issues with the system, we have actually a support number in there. So if you tap help, it'll pull up information about us as a company.
At the bottom.
Yeah, the phone numbers and contact info is at the bottom of the page, and at the top is the TAC ID. So TAC ID is what you'll give the support person on the phone to reference the room. So if you're in, either Illinois, Des Moines, or Mississippi, they'll ask you, "Hey, what's your TAC ID?" And then those numbers are at the top of the screen.
Would you press to get there? Is it the
You
help?
get
The help
yeah,
button.
the help question
Oh,
mark.
help question.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can go back. So the pages all have help at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So if you tap that, it'll throw you into the help page, and then from there you can see the information.
TAC ID was TAC.
Yep, TAC. Which is just basically shorthand for technical assistance center.
You should show them the sanitize button. This is
Oh,
pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So if for some reason you have something on the screens which you don't want somebody to see unless they've been invited to your meeting and they just casually walk into the room and they're like, "Hey, what's
like
going
playing
on,
video
folks?"
games at work.
Yeah, video games, watching
Would be a
football
good
games,
example.
whatever.
Look at that.
And the boss is coming by,
Right.
then you.
So there's a button with the trash can at the bottom of the. It's got sanitize there. If you tap that, it will kill the audio and the video immediately on the screens. And then it'll basically sit at a screen and it'll tell you the system is currently sanitized. And then so whenever they walk out and you're ready to pick up on your
You can
rounds of
unsanitize.
Mario Kart,
Uh-huh.
then you just tap the unsanitize button and it'll put everything back for you.
Right.
That's
Right.
pretty neat.
So
That's
how
pretty
to not get in trouble.
neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And basically where this comes from is there's a lot of places we've done some work where they have, either skiffs, classified stuff, whatever it is.
Okay.
And then, if they have stuff up on the screen and somebody walks in who's not cleared or whatever, somebody's being escorted around or something, you typically just hit that button real quick to just kill everything. And then once the folks walk away or something, then they put everything back on
Like
the
it.
It's just a quick way to do that.
So this is in custom brief so if we ever wanted to show two screens, we'd always have to go to custom brief, even
Yeah, if
if
you're
it's all
trying-
in here,
If you're trying to
Mhm.
mix and match, yeah, you'll have to be in custom briefing to do that.
which is pretty awesome because we haven't been able to do that before.
Yep.
So
Okay.
then to get out of custom, do I hit the 3 down here to go back? How do I
Mhm.
get out?
Yeah,
Just-
you can just hit the sandwich button menu there,
Mhm.
and then you can pick simple briefing.
Now, you can't do the two screens with like if you have a split monitor or whatever, and you're trying to do it from a single computer.
Oh, like multi-monitor?
Yeah, like multi-monitor.
Yeah, so in that case, you would actually have to have two physical inputs into the system to do that.
Okay.
So one for
Mhm.
each output, as it were, and then you could conceivably do that. So if you had somehow run a cable to, using this HDMI and then that HDMI over there plugged into the same computer, then conceivably you could do that.
Okay.
Just food for thought. I mean, on one of those weird days where for some reason you got to have a
Right.
dual desktop situation going
Have a
on.
plan and
Yeah.
a spreadsheet up simultaneously.
It gets a little sort of hairy with the wiring, perhaps, but it can be done. Yeah. Just remember, like once you finish, just plug the HDMI back into the dock. So if somebody were to come back in here,
I wonder,
just function, like, as the
do you
way
have
that
WebEx as a
familiar,
guest
just then
that
you
you've
can
logged
plug
into?
back in.
Just go into WebEx guest.
problem with that is
Mhm. Go ahead.
people have been messing with the cords and then you don't know what happened the next time you go to use them.
Oh yeah, I mean, really, you shouldn't have to unplug any cables or do anything like that. that.
Oh
Really,
wait, here Rick's
My
got
computer
his.
decided to blow up.
like you're
Oh, well,
operating out of
maybe,
the normal
maybe
use
not.
case
No, I got
scenarios.
it
They're
back.
having to like pull cables into the cable and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's sort of more under the normal operating scenarios.
What are we doing here? Go. Open
Yeah.
the WebEx.
Yeah,
meeting.
do WebEx.
Just start a new meeting.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, putting a computer as a touch screen, right? Like just your interface for the system definitely adds several layers of complexity.
He plugged this in to get it to
You know
work.
the Siamese cord?
It'll work. It's just
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
thinking
Like
and
the,
thinking.
yeah, the second computer in.
Yeah.
Somebody had taken those and plugged them back into the Siamese connection on the computer. And then nothing was functioning, so it took a while before somebody figured it out.
Oh, geez.
It looked like it was plugged in wrong. Everything looked like
Do you
it was
want to
plugged in.
plug
It
yours
plugged
into that
something.
dock there? And we'll just see how that goes. All right.
In case anybody's curious for the stuff I'm doing with the games, all it is really a Raspberry Pi and a 3D printer. That's all it is.
Little emulator.
Yes, yes. If you're familiar with RetroPie, that's what
I
it's
know what my
running.
password is.
I have that. Actual one.
You would?
I actually have the actual game at home.
Yeah,
the
nice.
N64 over, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at home I've got an N64 that I added the HDMI mod to. I opened it up and soldered the wiring on and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I can do HDMI and N64. So I'll do this. On the road, I don't bother bringing all that mess with me.
Yeah, which is
It's a lot more
easy to
complicated.
emulate it.
Yeah.
Try that. Join
Yeah, I've
as
got a
guest.
few other ones in here too. I've got a smaller one that I cooked up a long time ago. Which, this was probably the smallest of the bunch. So this is running a version of Retro. Yeah, it's RetroPie on a Raspberry Pi Zero with an expansion, a solderless expansion board on it that gives me those additional USBs.
It's pretty handy.
All right. Can you pull that up a little bit so you can see the whole
Doubles
screen?
as a random thing to kill time, but also a
Yeah.
tester.
All right. So you're saying the audio in here is going to get dropped down somehow?
So there should be an options screen in there somewhere.
Yeah, if you click the call me button, there's a drop down that's hidden.
Yeah.
Is there?
There you go.
Well, it's more for the settings. I don't know if there's like a place we can go just check out settings.
Oh,
On
yeah. It's not in the WebEx. It'd be under the computer itself, wouldn't it?
No, it'd actually be in the software itself, because in the
Okay.
software it gives you the option to pick your
So,
peripheral.
did you
your
click
devices.
search for
Oh,
a
then you
call?
still have to do computer
Mhm.
audio, I think.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, there
then
should be a
select
setting for
video.
computer audio and also computer video. I don't know if there's like in that window behind this window. Is there a settings
There you go.
thing in here? Maybe under your name, under your initials in the left corner. Yeah, settings perhaps. And then audio and video right there. Right.
Yeah.
So that if you hit that drop down right there, for the speaker.
That's
Down below. Yeah,
Second.
Microphone speaker.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm not. There's some of the text that's cut off there. I think this one that's HUDD. If you hover over that one, does it give you a?
Huddle
Okay,
shot.
so huddle shot is basically going to be this right here up at the front of the room.
All right.
So so one link bridge is actually for the room itself. So so the wording is slightly different. It's not these are both Vadio products. I assume they would have Vadio in the description, but they don't. So huddle shot is the speaker bar with the camera.
Okay.
And then the one link bridge is actually the hardware that ties in the room.
Alright.
So
That
the
one.
one link bridge is what you're looking for. Yeah, huddle shot is the speaker up at the front of the room.
And then what about huddle shot?
So huddle shot will give you the camera from here.
Okay.
If you're looking at the camera, the south one link bridge should give you the camera on the ceiling,
Oh, all right.
Awesome,
Oh,
awesome.
which I'm not sure why the video's coming in kind of odd there. I might have to look at the wiring
Oh,
for
yeah,
that.
there it is. It's just a really.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
there we all are.
that's the huddle
Hi.
shot. Yep. So
And the conference table looks long in there.
Uh-huh.
yeah, somehow I suspect it's the fisheye lens inside the huddle shot. But yeah.
So what happens if you hit start a meeting and then share like a video that
calling you. No,
Oh, no.
I don't want to do that.
computer audio then maybe?
Wait, why is it calling me? I thought we connected to.
One link bridge.
Go to this.
Yeah, and I just realized that the one link bridges
Is
actually
it
have
computer
the
audio?
original names
Just
of
try
the rooms.
connect maybe?
So the one in here is called South, The one over there, I'm guessing, is going to be called Central, and then of course the one in Des Moines is going to be called.
And then can you run a YouTube video and play it off of your computer? Start video. There's that.
Okay.
And then
So what
see if you
camera
can
is that now?
play something on YouTube and share your screen.
Go back to this camera here.
That would be, yeah, and I have to look at the video for that camera because the video is not looking right. I'll check. There's a device that's in the back for that camera where basically the video comes in over CAT. So I have to just
Because we have you.
YouTube.
Oh, what are you? Yeah.
Show these boards,
Okay.
and it has worked.
Okay. Well, we will double check it.
Oh, this will be gross. We don't want to watch that.
You can set it we had it at one time. That was preset 1, preset 2.
Yeah.
YouTube video.
And that actually hasn't changed. So the camera is accessible from the panel through the camera. So we'll wait for that to kick over.
Watch some old
It's
shoes.
right there. So if you tap this,
Okay.
it'll change the camera. I can check it.
So share
Do we
your
have-
screen with WebEx.
Preset 2.
Right.
Preset 1.
Yeah, these are definitely in rough shape,
Okay, so what do I
but
share?
it's nothing. I
Are you
can't
hearing
handle.
it back there or just here?
No, you can hear back
Yeah, we can kind of raise the volume a little
You can hear
bit.
back here.
There you go.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, this is definitely worn right through. It's absolutely gonna need a resource.
Alright.
Okay.
What about shoes?
Is it going out to the Illinois room at all right now?
Should be going. Yeah, we're still in overlay. You should be hearing it over there. Yep.
Would it be just as loud if he's manipulating it up here in the Illinois?
No, so the volumes are not linked because it's
I
overflow.
honestly have no clue.
Like I have it set up so
How
that the
someone
people
gets
in
a
each of the
shoe and
rooms
leaves it in
control their
this
respective volumes.
condition.
They're all the same.
I have so many questions for the previous owner.
So even if they have it blasting,
Usually
Yeah,
we'll
so
do-
it's not loud in there.
It's not.
Nope.
Yeah, you can raise the volume over there. So.
All right,
But,
did
So we usually
Did
only
you write
need
down
volume
the
equalization
steps
when
for
we're
that?
like within my design space.
for the WebEx?
Not exactly, but I wrote down like the cameras, separate volume.
Okay. Do you want to go back to your WebEx, turn this off,
Yeah.
and we'll go back?
So in here, you can adjust that volume, and I heard you do that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go back.
Over
to
there,
the-
it's really quiet.
Your home
So do
screen.
they have an independent volume control and that for the other rooms? that
So
go on?
there.
They
Mm-hmm.
have a
Hang
panel
on, let me
of their
take a
own where they
picture.
go in and adjust the volume to their
So they
liking.
could adjust, even though they're getting overflow
I
from
need
this room,
someone
they can
here. Take a
adjust the
picture
volume.
of each screen if you would when he chooses.
It's
So
separate, yeah.
go up to your name,
Each
Okay.
room
your
has its own-
initials. So
basically
take a
we have
picture of him
audio
like
coming
up there,
Basically it comes out 3 different ways. Each
and
room.
then down to
So
settings,
everybody has control of their own stuff. Yeah.
and then he went to
Can you turn
audio?
that camera on then?
If I can turn it on.
Right now, so like, let's say we're in a presentation, we want to
This
show
thing
a
out.
couple.
So take a
One
picture
light.
of that. Yep.
Should be.
I
Okay.
think is it a source?
And
I think it's a source on the
The
system.
video was called Huddle.
You got a picture of that?
Let's see here.
What did Rick do? over
Or
there?
you could do the RM South One Link Bridge. So click on that.
Yeah, let's try that one.
Hmm.
So
Which is
yeah,
this
there's something
one.
weird going on with the video.
Okay.
there.
And then
Oh, see
click
it.
on the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one
it's
just
like-
for a
Yeah, it's
view
acting
of
kind
it.
of weird. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a.
The
I'll
huddle
take
shot.
when we
Yeah.
go when I get access to the room over there. I'll take a look at the rack and make
Huh.
sure it's not just a cable set up here.
What?
It's synced or something.
That's
That
interesting.
was it.
Can't get back to it now.
So here he can't get back to the huddle shot for some reason.
Yeah. So if for some reason you have multiple instances of the software open, and then you're trying to use like right there, it looks like you
Mhm.
have something that's used the camera at some point. What is that
Mhm.
for WebEx there?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have
Hit
one
stop
software
video.
that grabs the camera, it won't give any other piece of software the ability to grab the
So
camera.
even though you tried to do it twice, now we're back in.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Weird. Okay.
Okay.
yeah. You can only pull one instance of the camera to a piece of software.
Makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
So
All right. So now let's push over to this one and see if this pops up.
okay.
Is
did you guys,
this-
Did you guys plug in the? Oh yeah. No. Let me take
We
the
need to
cable
get
out of here.
that
I'll
plugged
put it back in the dock.
And now comes the real moment of truth. Will it take 2
Oh,
plugs
it's gonna do it. It's gonna do it.
or
It's gonna
1
do it.
plug?
It's gonna do it.
Hmm.
Okay. So we're back in. All right. So we have the computer at the head of the room on that one, and we'll put the other computer on that screen over there. We got it plugged in on the dock.
But this is the question we've been having. That I don't know if this is a docking station question.
So if you hold the Windows key and hit P, you have it set to duplicate. You can do extend or duplicate, but that should be showing up on there. We can try, if you want to try extending, we can do that. It's also possible, because the computer was already on the dock, we might have to unseat the cables and then seat them back in, possibly.
All right, you ready for me to plug them back in?
Let's see.
Extend.
It's playing musical chairs. Let's see
Mhm.
if it picks it up.
So one thing that we've been doing is we only are using one cable. So I thought maybe this would fix everything, that we didn't have to just use one cable.
Okay, I mean, there may be something we can investigate with that.
Yeah.
That's been made for
Try
you
the one
between your
cable and see
business
that.
laptop and your SE laptop. That's the only reason you use one or two cables.
I don't understand what a lot of that just meant.
You have different grades of computers.
Okay.
You have your science computer, which most of you here probably have.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cheaper business one, and the business ones only use the single cable.
Okay.
We
You
haven't
can
been
try
able to
that,
get
sure.
cable.
I don't know whose computer it
We
is.
haven't been able to get
I don't
video in
wanna mess
this
with
room unless we just use the one cable with the yellow sticky
Mhm.
note on it.
Yeah.
Plug in the other one.
it. Yeah, I mean, you can try.
I don't know why.
You can hit extend if you want to.
Mhm.
It's just not. It's not my computer, so I didn't want to mess with it. But I just
Yeah.
pulled up
Someone
settings.
figured out that if you just use that one cable, don't plug both of them in.
Yeah.
That's with your business laptop usually, but
No,
maybe
with
it's
all,
not.
everybody's.
This one? Okay.
But right now it's showing nothing.
Right.
You want to extend it?
I don't think that's gonna, I mean, if it's duplicated, it should be showing it, and now it
Yeah.
shows
Yeah,
nothing.
it should be.
Mhm.
So is it something in
You may
the,
need to power cycle your entire docking station.
That's true. That's another thing you can try. I know the docking stations, they have these modern ones. They all run firmware. They have an operating system they run.
And they're
So
terrible.
yeah, and they are awful.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah. No,
are you
so
okay if you change his stuff? Yeah.
okay. So
I
I was
bet
gonna
the
say, just we
firmware
can
hasn't been
take a
updated on
look
that
at the
thing for
desktop just to
years.
see if you want to see if it's even picking up the. Oh, I guess you probably have to use the mouse.
Can we use this one?
Yeah, he
But-
has one.
Oh, okay. I think that one's tied to the dock or something.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so this works too.
What's working?
So if you want to take a look, if you right click on the desktop and go to settings or properties or what have you, and see if the computer's even picking up the extra monitor, because it might not be. I don't know.
Display.
Yeah, we can do display. Or maybe just settings. I'm not sure what this is going to do.
Docking station.
Okay.
HDMI
So,
directly into the laptop.
If you
Yeah, try that.
I don't know if they have the setting to change. I mean, if you change it to extend, it should show you two desktops. It should show you the one for the laptop, and then it should show you the system being plugged into the computer.
Okay.
How long is this cable? This is HDMI.
There's some slack on it. You just have to just pull it up. I'm not sure if it's a ton of slack, but there is some. Yeah.
Unplug this.
Right.
Shouldn't matter. It's not connected anymore.
But this would give us power, right?
I don't hear anything when it's connected though.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, it's strange.
You want me to try doing an extend? See if that
Sure.
gives us something different? Okay. I don't know. What are you doing, Windows? There it goes.
I don't want it to do.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so it's showing that it's got something.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. But does it?
It does it. Yeah, that's the
And
real.
this is how most of our WebEx meetings start.
Gotcha. Okay.
and then people start to push buttons.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pretty soon I'm getting called, or you're getting called, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
oh no, what's going on?
Okay, so it's definitely.
Sometimes this is half my day, just
Uh-huh.
goofing with IT, trying to figure out how to make it work.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
It's definitely picking it up. The only other thing I can think of, maybe, because Windows likes to do. I'm not sure if.
Did the monitor turn itself off?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I
Is
can
it
try.
still in the whatever
No,
that mode is called where it can split it?
I can try. I can just try changing the route that's there. So if I put the camera back up there,
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah.
or just the GFE PC, so we don't get the crazy video. Yeah. So that's. I can log into the endpoint and see what's going on.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, right now the computer's picking up a 4K. It's supposedly outputting 4K to the system. It's possible there's maybe HTTP issues. I mean, there's any number of things that could be happening.
I'm not crazy. He did have his stuff hooked up and running. Okay.
Mhm.
That's why I thought we split the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It was just off of that HDMI.
Yeah.
So that sounds like Windows not wanting to be happy with it, then.
Well, it's been difficult.
It's hard to figure out what this too is 1080p,
Ah.
and then it showed up. So it was
So
having,
none of us have fancy enough computers to make this work.
There's a revolution battle.
Yes.
Alright, we got it.
All right. Well, let's try. Can somebody unplug the blue cord and then plug
You
it
know the
into the
HDMI?
docking station? Yeah.
yeah,
This one?
usually by
No. Yeah,
Just like
you're right,
the
Ryan. You're right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then send it over to us.
Usually by default, the programmer usually gets the phone call, even if it's not a programming issue, because we field the phone calls anyway. Yeah, call the programmer. It was a loose cable. Call him anyways. Alright.
And it worked.
So you default, right?
Right.
Kind of kicked the mess under
Okay.
the table.
All right. So now let's unplug yours from there and plug it here and see
setting
if
did
it
you
still
change?
works.
Was it a Windows
What
setting
line
that you
you know there?
changed, or?
No, it was a web interface. Basically,
Just
there's
unplug
there's
there
a
and
box
come on over
that
here.
basically ingests. It's an encoder. It takes the signal
And
in,
here's yours.
converts
back.
it into a JPEG 2. I don't think they changed. I think they changed the codec. It's no longer JPEG 2000, but it's basically an encoding format for the video system that basically gets the video signals over the network.
And see if you
And
pop up.
so the box that's ingesting the signal is what I changed the setting on.
There you go.
So we
There it
shouldn't
is.
have to
Oh, that
adjust this per computer basis.
Okay, what
No,
happens if we
no,
plug in
Yeah,
both?
adjusted for
I don't know.
the computer, basically.
Yes.
But to unplug to get that, I think. Or will it
I just
fit?
wanted to make
No,
sure
it'll
we
fit.
didn't have to do
No,
that
I
setting
mean-
change locally, or if it was something that was just pushed.
No. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the
So
setting
it's still
on the
This
just
dock doesn't
one.
like both cables.
Yeah, so it's still just the one
It just
cable.
doesn't like two cables plugged in.
Oh, wait.
Whoa!
Whoa!
I'm turning off HDCP, which is the content protection for HDMI. I don't think you guys are gonna be watching like movies or
Wait,
Netflix.
wait, pull both of them out and then put them in the right way,
Basically,
like it
what
would be.
that'll mean is like you can't watch protected content like Netflix or Hulu or any of that stuff. You can't watch that like and plug it into the computers and watch it on the screens. But what it means is you have like one less like hurdle the computer's gonna go through to basically sync and put your video on the screen. Like so, normally what happens is like if a person walks into a room with an Apple computer,
Mhm.
it negotiates even if you're not
Okay,
using
try and
anything
play
protected,
your YouTube
the
here and see
operating
if it
system will
goes in the
negotiate
speaker
content
system.
protection on that video sync,
I just wanna see if
regardless
it's still
of
doing
whether
the
or
same
not
thing
you're
we
watching
told it to
protected
do
content.
earlier.
And that will typically complicate things.
Audio.
You guys don't have a codec here, but like if you had a video codec and you were doing video conference calls with a video codec, the codecs don't negotiate HTTP.
You wanna use.
So what that means is when
So
you
it
send your
doesn't give you
computer
that
to screen,
option.
it's flat.
Oh,
Or you
not
get a
from there,
red screen,
apparently.
which means
Mhm.
content protection is not active.
Okay, so the
by turning
only
it off,
time we
the
have
computer
that
when it jacks
option.
into the plug will just go, oh, I can't
So
do
it's
content
just gonna be
protection.
your
Okay,
computer.
and it'll
Yeah.
just give you the video. Okay. So just keep
Mhm.
that in mind. Like if you're having,
Okay.
like if somebody comes in, oh, let's watch Netflix. It's not gonna work. Like, right.
Nobody should be watching Netflix at work. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I may only be the boss for one more day.
I mean,
But
but they got the sanitize button for a reason.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Out when you talked about the sanitize
Yeah.
button, if you got anything confidential that you don't want somebody to see when they walk into the room, you hit the sanitize button.
And it makes
It'll
it.
flag.
Uh-huh.
The audio.
Yeah, the
Ah.
It kills the video and the audio on all the screens.
And then you just press the same button, and it just everything pops up. Oh, I guess it unmutes it too.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh,
Is that
it was
coming from
muted?
here?
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
Wait,
That was the.
what just
Yeah,
happened?
we had it
Oh,
muted.
you had it muted.
Yeah, we had it muted.
Oh.
I hit sanitize, and then when I unsanitized it, it unmuted it from here when it resumed.
You turn it
Okay.
on.
Fantastic.
So we can get sound from the center then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can adjust it all. From
So
here.
would the
There you go.
microphones
Thank
work
you.
from the center too?
Appreciate it.
Well, so the reason you're
There
getting
you
the
go.
audio from the center.
Isn't it because it's just the computer?
some
It's
shoes,
not the
man.
WebEx.
So what happens is the HDMI actually carries the audio,
Mm-hmm.
and so when we pull the signal in at that particular input, then we output the audio from that same HDMI signal. Since it's got the carrier audio on there, then it'll put it on the speakers for you. The microphones actually are handled by a different system. There's a digital signal processor in the back, which I can show you, and that's the one that's actually handling all the microphones.
All
So
right.
that one works a little bit differently in the way that it gets the audio and works with the computers. That's the reason why the USB is necessary at the head of the room.
Okay.
It kind of pulls all that stuff together.
I noticed you have only one screen going, and the other ones are.
That's-
Well, that's just because
We were
we had
playing
something.
around.
Yeah,
Had the,
for the
yeah, we had the head of the room routed up there,
Okay.
and they pulled the computer from that docking station. But see if she plugs
So you
that up.
can display something on one
Yeah,
screen
she'll
and
do it.
that's something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
And you can
so
do it
couldn't
so
do
that, like, one
That's
screen
right.
in the Illinois River
Per input
room
basis.
is connected, right? So that
So the number of different
It could be real
screens that
confusing
can
to
be
do it
shown
one
depend
time.
on the number of inputs you have.
I'm also going to have to change the setting on that input also. It won't show anything until I do the same.
Oh.
Oh, there it goes.
you
Okay.
did.
Did on that one.
And then one
Okay.
Well, you got it going now.
There you go.
Mhm.
that was a nicer one with us, I think.
What's that?
That connection has been nicer with us in general versus. The
Oh, has it?
Yeah, this middle one's kind of been.
It's been
That
pain.
that dock might be not good.
Maybe that one's right set up for the 1080.
Could be. It's
Without you
possible.
looking, I have no idea.
Well, the thing is, we had the entire system, all the rooms, everything locked in the shop, and we basically went through testing like we're doing here, but we did it in the shop. So sometimes, I'll forget to set something up, or it happens once in a while. But, so maybe I missed that one.
Okay. Any other questions about this room? And then maybe we can go run over to the Illinois room and take a look at that if people are interested to see how another room works.
I'm game for however
Quiet.
y'all want to
All
go.
right.
So.
Let's go to the
Just wondering
next
if we
room.
could just repeat all that again.
I can't.
Yes, right here. I'll hit play.
47 minutes worth.
I mean, I'll be here for
Uh-huh.
a while. I know
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah,
you
I can stay a little bit
and
longer
Tony have a
today.
bit of a time constraint, but I
Yeah.
mean, if you guys need me to
Mhm.
stay to show you guys more stuff or whatever, I can stay here and show you all more stuff. I'm
That's the basics.
technically
Yeah.
booked up here in the area until about the 8th of October, barring I have to do work at First Army
See if it's gonna.
elsewhere on the base.
Is my GoPro.
That
So
is so
plug
awesome.
in. And then, does it just happen automatically?
I don't know.
I think you
You
gotta
Simple
hit
briefing,
simple
you should.
briefing.
Yes.
Yes.
Just pop up.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, okay.
Magic.
I will say that I did click
Lot of
the
magic.
multiple displays screen on the left, those buttons on the left first
Oh,
before
yeah,
he
yeah.
plugged it in.
And I had turned
Oh,
off
my shoe video back.
overflow for there.
Oh, yeah, 'cause the
Okay.
goes on in there.
Nope, just kind of make sure.
They're just-
Mhm.
Otherwise,
I would hope you'd be able to.
What they would be-
Same
time.
So if the overflow's on, it just overrides whatever you're doing in this room.
So.
I think so.
Alright, here we go.
I was gonna say, we can
Yeah,
go.
you can ask him.
I can
Yeah.
go press the overflow button and see what happens.
Yeah, if it,
So does
If we
overflow
can
override
override
what's going on in the other rooms?
Yes,
Mhm.
but in the rooms locally, you can pick something else if you don't want that.
So you can change it back from.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, basically I made it so that you won't see it. Well, I guess you actually will see it here. So when they enable overflow, the source will get added to the list.
Okay,
And
but you
will
can
it
still
auto-
go through the scroll menu and pick the one you want instead.
Yeah, it won't be a
Okay.
scroll. It'll be like you can
It's
see it here.
right
It's like
Well,
a
it'll
series of
just be-
buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a series of buttons. So you'll have the Mississippi stuff in here, but you'll
Oh, okay.
also have the Illinois stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we
So,
don't want
yes, it does
Mississippi,
override,
we'll say,
But if you don't want that, you just tap on what
Yeah.
you want. Yeah. It's just by default. I'm assuming if you were to do
And
it,
there,
you'd
it's
want
turning.
to send something from there. So it's just that's what happens automatically.
Mhm.
But-
That's pretty neat. And then hit play and we'll listen. I know the music's going because I've
Alright.
been listening to Mario every evening. I'm like, am I home? I'm
See
not
if it
home.
works, see
I'm
if it-
here.
Oh, I hear it.
Okay, and then go to your WebEx and then should it be the same names?
Yeah, in this case, it should be the same. I believe they did do, we can take a look just to confirm, but it's definitely gonna have the Huddle shot, because that's what's sitting over there beneath the TV. And then the
Alright,
other one, I
setting.
believe, I'm just not remembering what the rack has in it, because sometimes they'll put the one that can tie in the room in some spaces, but not others. It depends on, I guess, whatever's been agreed upon with the ordering of the materials and all that stuff. But,
Use the huddle shot, or does this one have?
yeah,
a-
so this room does not have the
The one,
Can't
like bridge or whatever.
the one link, the bridge.
But
yeah.
so what are those hooked up to?
Those are for when you do when you're going to basically do the anything to do with the DSP and I guess audio conference. If you have audio conference, I think enabled in this, which I think you may do possibly. I remember that being part of the system.
So I can't select these microphones.
Those no, but if you pick the huddle shot, it uses the microphone array in the huddle shot. The huddle shot actually has a microphone array inside of it.
Right, in that
Yep.
bar, yeah.
Yes.
But there's no way to get this picked up through
On-
our
on-
WebEx.
Unfortunately not. We
Okay.
can go back and look through the reason why that decision was made.
Huh.
But it goes there too. Echo cancel.
The bar.
It's
the
bar.
bar.
So that's got the camera and,
Oh.
and speakers and
Microphone.
microphone.
Oh,
So there's
So these are
echo
kinda
canceling
Oh, I
speakerphones?
see, 'cause that has
That's not it though, right?
That's
That's for the audio conferencing system.
Okay.
Well, it says,
Yeah, so if you do audio conference, then these
There's
mics
two
are
huddle
ones that get
shots.
used.
For the speaker, you're gonna have to also switch it.
how come
Well,
there's-
if you use
what?
system settings, that's just default, and it's defaulted to the huddle shot, so that's why
Got
you see
it.
it twice.
Okay. Fantastic.
So which one do we pick
Either one.
For
Mine is fine.
Yeah, they're
for
both
the
the same.
microphones?
Yeah.
For,
Okay.
well, you can use. I mean, I would say to choose the huddle shot.
Specifically?
Yeah, microphone.
Echo canceling.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then for the speakers, in here, you can. I mean, you're plugged into the system. You can technically leave it. You can. Yeah, I mean, you can technically leave it set up for your computer actually, if you want the speaker. The speaker sound will actually come out over the speakers in the room. If you leave
It's system.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. So in this room, it's Crestron because you do not have the link
All right.
like you do in the other room. That's the
Will it be
difference.
similar for the Des Moines room? Do you know?
The Des Moines is going to be similar to this one because I suspect it has a huddle shot, but also not a hub or a link or whatever the box is called. My memory's bad for remembering the names, but yeah, for some reason we can go over that if you'd like to cover why it is that this room and the Des Moines don't have the hub.
Seems like there should be. Yeah.
If it's an out port on the side of the that box right there, that's the video decoder.
Okay.
That actually
I only see his head.
yeah, it's right. If
Here,
you point
you hold
it,
it.
okay. Basically that right there with the lights flashing on it with the blue cable plugged into it.
Yeah.
That's your video decoder. So that's what pulls the video off the network and then puts it on the display.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a giant slot on the TV that's maybe about that tall and about maybe that big. And so there's a card that actually gets slotted into the display, and then it basically just feeds as an input into the TV.
Okay.
So that's where your inputs come from.
Okay.
So changing the input on the TV will actually mess you up.
Yeah.
All right. Should we try the last room? We'll see.
That's our luck.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, you got the numbers on the panels if you guys run into problems, and Kara and Tony have my number and my email. So if you have quick questions or something, you guys can reach out. Please, feel free to call me up and just ask.
Okay. So You're plugging it in.
Will it go or do I have to check?
So if you hit the hamburger menu there, and then you can do simple briefing, and that will actually, oh yeah, go ahead and hit yes on that. And then that will send your, should send your computer up to the display.
Here you go.
Hey!
Wow.
Wow.
Very easy.
All right.
Dramatic surprise when it works.
Check the audio down on your WebEx though, or
With
you
the
know.
computer acting as a touch
They're
screen.
pretty
That was
excited.
very cumbersome to do. And that was the workaround we had available at the time, unfortunately. So yeah.
And
It'll be
Preston.
Preston.
as well.
Crestron in here as well, and then your microphone will be the. You may have to turn volume.
I hear it
levels up.
coming
Yeah,
from.
if on the
over
touchscreen
there.
itself, it may be turned down or muted.
Yeah. Don't forget also, your computer has a volume level.
There goes the gracious. You said it, man.
Your computer has a volume level.
Yeah.
And actually, if you're watching
That
something,
is-
if you're watching something on YouTube, it's actually threefold. You've got a
Oh,
volume on the
seriously?
room,
Oh, really?
volume on the laptop, and a volume in YouTube. There's a little slider bar at the bottom of the video.
Well, you could get a
You
major
got
heart
three
attack.
volumes.
All over your
Wow.
But at the very least, if all of them are maxed,
Yeah.
Oh.
it's not a lot bleeding.
I'm weak enough already.
Just keep that in mind if you're not hearing something. You'll have to check in technically 3 places to make sure.
All right. So show me where your volume is on this screen here. Just right
Oh,
there.
this thing right here, the slider on the side.
Just pop it, then it.
Probably now.
You got that one, then also the one down. There's a
Yeah.
speaker down here somewhere, maybe hidden behind that.
Probably.
That little speaker right there. Actually, you know, you had it. It was there on the hidden.
Week and a half to one.
So there's that right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Nothing about the
Yep. See, that will give you another volume level.
Okay.
And then there's also a volume level on the video right there. So just make sure if you're not hearing something, those 3 spots will be able to check.
I was like, yeah.
Right.
So hamburger menu.
Yep.
There's a power button in the bottom left.
System power?
And then shut down the system. And that will turn the display off, and you're good to go. Burger menu,
Yeah.
right? And then settings. And then the password that's hard coded in the system is 4230.
I'm writing that down.
Enter, and you can set a password on this if you want. So, okay. So since I'm in here, I'll go ahead and mention there are 2 more checkboxes up in the top left of settings. There are additional inputs on the system that are buried in the rack room. So if for some reason you wanted to make those available, you wanted to temporarily connect something to the system back there, and I can show you those once we're back there, then you would enable, there's the card cage, which is just a giant frame with cards. And then there's a spare, which I think is actually a spare encoder, actually like a separate box. So those would be enabled right here, and those would show up in the lists where you've already seen how to pick stuff. They would show up in the list and actually have the wording spare or card gauge. So what we're looking for now under the context of the shutdown is this page right here. It's auto shutdown. And then you can also, by the way, set system time here if you need to. But yeah,
Make 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. So you would just tap so you get 6.
Yeah, I don't think we do too many briefings after 6.
And then once you're good with that, just hit enable.
So do we have to go in? Can someone just set down the laptop and plug in, and it'll wake back up automatically, or do they have to like wake up the system and hit start up every morning?
No, you're gonna have to hit startup. The only system that works without any interaction on the part of nice sound, by the way. Any interaction on the part of a user is going to be the Chief's room. The Chief actually has the ability to just plug the cable in, and if the box in the top middle of the panel is checked for auto start, it'll automatically turn the display on and then shoot the image of the HDMI up to the display. But that Chief's is the only one that has that.
Okay.
And a little backstory, the only reason it has that is because previously when we didn't have panels in the system and the Chief didn't have a panel, that was the only way the Chief could get an image on the display, right? Like from the system proper is for us to kind of automate the process. So,
So
that's
So go
where it
ahead
comes
and
from.
shut it down and then
Yeah.
show us how to restart it, like if you shut down now.
Okay, so I'm
when
gonna
we
shut
come in the
down.
morning.
That's, and then you just hit shut down system, it'll turn the display off and such. And if you come in the morning and you're ready to use the system and you plugged your computer into the docking station, then what you'll do is you'll come in, hit the hamburger menu, and then if you're just doing something basic, really all you need to do is hit simple briefing. And that'll take what's plugged in on the dock and put it up on the display. And you'll also get the audio that way as well.
So then that person gets done and he unplugs and walks out.
Mhm.
Then 2 hours later, someone has another meeting. Does he have to do the simple briefing again, or will it already be active?
It'll be there. So basically,
Until 6 p.m. it's on.
yeah.
Basically.
And if the person is like, if they plug in, I mean, if the system's been turned on already and the screen looks something like this, you're basically good. I mean, it's good to go. You just plug in and it should work. Yeah.
Yeah, only if you see the rotating core symbol.
logo.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
you
okay.
have to.
So
So
I just need a little brief instruction of press the simple brief button when you first start kind of deal, and that should cover it for most people.
Yep.
yeah.
Should.
So the settings for the auto shutdown are not stored in persistent memory on the system. It's a very simple bit of code that does that. So if for some reason the whole building loses power and you get power back on, then the auto shutdown sequence will have to be set back up again. Just an FYI. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That
That's
never
on my-
happens. We have reliable backup power.
Don't get Marty.
I was
We
like,
have reliable backup power. Always, right, Marty?
I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds like sarcasm. I'm pretty sure it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's it's on my to-do list to make that persistent storage, but I haven't done that yet. So, but anyways, that's really the end. You got the sanitize button here also.
Monkey stays on the branch,
Is there
because it's a branch,
television
and a monkey goes on a
access
branch, right?
anything like that, or
No.
like say we have a 9/11 and everybody's crowded around the TV? There's no way to.
I mean, the way to do it would be to pull in a live stream like on YouTube or something like that, and put it on the computer, and then you can shoot it up that way. But we don't have,
But there's nothing. Okay.
yeah, we don't have the TV tuners or anything like that set up here. I mean, it's something we can add if you guys want to. That's
So-
no problem.
You want cable?
Let's see.
Did you want cable?
Press
on
here to
that?
begin.
No,
This
I
has
was just
auto
curious.
start on PC Connect though. So this has auto start on, but it did not auto start.
Nope. Didn't.
Nope.
So it did not auto start because this is the cable that ties into the system. I didn't have it in the dock because the dock is full of stuff.
Got it.
So that would be one of those
Okay.
situations where I was kind of going to ask you, like,
What could we
how did you guys
unplug?
want to handle that? Do you want me to just
Okay.
Oh, it's
pull
only
something out?
it's only got 2 ports, 2
Yeah.
You've got
Video
two
port.
two display port, and you've got an HDMI.
Okay.
So all the ports are actually.
What's that HDMI going to?
That is a good question. I have no idea.
That HDMI is
Oh, it's
going
going straight
there.
to the
So
TV, isn't it?
yeah. So you
Okay.
can unplug that. That was
Yeah.
our backup.
That was going
Oh,
straight.
Oh,
That
okay,
goes straight
yeah,
to the
I
TV.
remember that.
So-
Mhm. We just did that this week. So yeah, try
is
that.
HDMI?
It is an HDMI. Yeah, the only thing here I would say also with the cabling, because I didn't try this, but this is a standing desk. So,
Yeah, so it's
whatever
long
cable
enough.
management we're going to do needs to be
Mhm.
loose, because the minute the desk goes up, we've got limited limited cable limitations on the cable.
Oh, don't make it a break.
Well, looks like it's got fine. I think we'll be fine if we stand up.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how high it's going to
You got
go,
plenty.
but like this is
Yeah.
the extent of my limit right here, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
I think well,
we can always get a longer cable.
we
as
can
well.
always find a
Yeah.
longer
If you have a
HDMI
really
cable.
tall person, they're going to raise the desk quite a bit. So.
Okay, so but it did not auto connect.
Okay, so all right.
TV on?
Like unplug it, plug it in again.
Perhaps you could try that. I mean, I'm not sure if we're having the same issue we had in the other room, or the video is kind of pokey. So I know when I tested this with one of my little signal generators, it
Mhm.
worked okay. But I was just
I
going
bet it's
straight
the
up,
same.
possibly the same issue.
Mhm.
No, no.
I understand.
That dock
Did it
might
do-
not be updated. Firmware
I
might be
know.
old.
I
one.
just updated it.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
Mhm.
Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, like 2 weeks ago.
Probably pretty good.
Oh, but
Recess?
you're saying it could be a resolution issue like before?
That's my
It's
guess.
Or
possible.
Just trying to
Mhm.
connect 4K?
It's possible. I might have to just web into the encoder and set the EDID tables to be 1080p.
So it still didn't
instead of
auto start,
4K.
right?
Yeah, it's on. See right up here. It says auto start, so it should auto start.
Yeah.
But if I hit
And what's the
simple
little spinny
briefing,
thing
let's see what happens.
Yep.
Can I hit yes?
Yeah, go
I'm
for it,
hitting
yeah.
yes.
That's just asking you if you want to set the system up fully.
Mhm.
You have the television on?
Yep,
Should be, yeah.
it's glowing.
And it's
All
just
right.
got no service.
So what
but
is this?
Well, yeah. So what
speaker?
happened was the system was added as overflow. So you see how, yeah, it's possibly how it would. This possibly the reason why it's doing that is because it was possibly added as overflow maybe when we were messing with it.
So we might need to take it off as overflow.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do we need to do here then?
Can somebody take, well, if
So
it's,
Just hit Chiefs room?
you hit Chief's room. That would be the. Might have found a bug. Nice.
Fun.
Let me shut this down completely and start it again.
okay.
So pretty
Oh my
much,
gosh.
just a quick rundown of the stuff there. So you've got, this is basically nothing more than a PoE injector. You've got the actual switch that handles all the networking stuff for this one right here. It's the Catalyst 9300. This guy is the control system that actually deals with all the touch panel inputs. Then this is your one-link bridge. This is actually the system that ties the Mississippi computer to the room microphones and room audio. Yeah. This switch is actually for the BIAMPs. So the BIAMPs talk a sound or audio protocol called ABB. And so we use this switch to link the 3 BIAMPs together to share the audio data amongst the DSPs. So these are the guys that actually do your audio processing and the ceiling microphones. These are also your audio conferencing units here. This is the card cage I was talking about. So the encoders that actually, basically ingest all the video. There are some in here. I'd have to go around back to remember and look at what exactly is plugged in here, but you can kind of cycle through the cards here. So you can see there's actually a bunch of decoders in here. And then, and the camera. So the camera runs into here, and then there's also a bunch of decoders in here.
Way back when they were first installing this, they said we had to install 4 data jacks that have to connect to that. And the data jacks are there installed now, but
okay.
I think they were going to come back and actually connect those in, but I'm not sure exactly what they were supposed to do.
So perhaps the data jacks were for VoIP?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think I vaguely remember we were trying to get the VoIP set up, but the jacks weren't ready. So I think that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So the VoIP would go, each of those VoIP jacks would go into these guys. And I can show you around back, but they have these basically both, they have POTS and they also have VoIP. So if you wanted to use a regular phone line, you could if you wanted to. But so these are, you can just use VoIP for those. And these are the amplifiers. So these are what actually drive the speakers in your conference rooms. Yeah, so anyways, can take a look around back. This does have some play on it. You can move it slightly if you want to take a look around the back here. Yeah, so the card cage here is basically the video. Well, so your video encoder is going to be this one here.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the E30. So yeah, that's your encoder. The D30s are all decoders. I actually have nothing here on these. These are all HDMI connections that are outputs that are not being used for anything. They ordered spares, I guess. So that's what I was talking about over there. If for some reason, maybe you wanted to put a monitor back here to keep an eye on video feeds, or you wanted to connect something and pull video out of the system and put it into something else. You can use those 4 cards. You'd have to go into the settings in the top left and then just enable the card cage. And that would give you access from the panels to route to any one of those outputs. So if for some reason you wanted to pull HDMI video out of here, that's an option you've got. Your VoIP connections are down here. So that's VoIP connection 1, 2, and 3.
So we need like patch cables to plug into those.
Yeah, just a Cat5e, Cat6 cable, just connecting from the wall into the VoIP ports. The other thing you'll need is configurations, which I can email you guys the configuration sheets. Basically, whoever's provisioning the VoIP system will have to make an extension on the phone system for VoIP, and then they'll need basically like I would imagine, like this is how I have it in my office, is I set up like a small little Linux server with VoIP. Basically have an extension username, password, and there's some other extension details you'd have to provide in terms of like what the extension number is and so on. But then once you have those details, you can just basically set up the extension details on the actual DSP itself, and then it will log into your VoIP server. And basically these DSPs will basically be an extension on the phone system. And then depending on how you have your provisioning done on the VoIP server, you can actually dial out, or if it's just for local calls On the actual base, I don't know however you guys want to set that up, but those are all
Now, and
options.
if there's something we wanna do.
Oh, I thought that is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the.
For VoIP?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was my understanding that we were gonna go that way.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so I mean, I can send you the sheet, so you guys know what
Mhm.
details are needed. I can also show you what I can send you pictures of the screenshots of the stuff that I did for myself and for my guys at the office for VoIP testing.
that would be great.
The setup's pretty straightforward. I think. Well, yeah. So I'll take a look at the DSPs. I believe the web interface is actually you can actually target it from the VoIP card itself.
Mm-hmm.
So once these things get plugged into your network, then they can actually hit the IP addresses from their computers and workstations. They can actually put the details in themselves. They don't even have to call me if they don't want to. So,
Because that was the part we had to get IT involved
Right,
since
yeah.
it was our system.
Yep.
Yeah.
the only other thing I would say is I don't know how the network works for you guys. I know for most places they need sort of like an APL or something like that for an approved like list of devices or something.
Yep.
So that's the only thing I was going to say as a word of caution before you jacking them into your network. Just check your APL and make sure that it's on there.
It doesn't shut it all down.
Yeah, because I would hate for you guys to get a verbal like tear down over plugging this
Right.
biamp into your network.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would say. Just double check the APL list because I ran into that actually at Fort McCoy in California. We were going to plug a Extron DSP into their network, and he checked his APL list and it wasn't on there. So we were just like, don't plug it in for whatever you do. Don't plug it into your network.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
I think that's it.
Awesome.
Hopefully we won't even have to really mess with this.
Right.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have to. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to use those spare cards for some reason, but other than that, should be good to go.
Yes, but the other ones are marked as UPS. No, that's PDP-18. It's almost certainly UPS.
Okay,
no way
great.
that
What is it on?
The UP.
PDP-18. Power distribution panel.